road trip to the job. The job's on the other side of this street, so they said I had to park over here. Anyway, digging for a plumber today. We should just need one bucket. Maybe digging for an electrician too. I think he's on the same job. Might need some work done while I'm here. Eric's going to have to start cleaning these damn boots off before he uses my backhoe. I gotta say that. Got mud all over it. Anyway, I thought I was bad, but he's worse. Anyhow, I don't know that I can get through these blocks. I think I'm going to go around. Yeah. I could probably move one, but I don't want to do that. Poor little Red got to sit over here by herself. Oh well. A little road trip here. So we got ourselves a muddy mess out here today. We're going to be digging a ditch across this, laying sewer line for a sanitary sewer, bathroom group, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going back here in the back, little bathroom. But it's a little wet out here. I guess from what they say, it hadn't been drying out much. So ought to be a good day in the mud. In my backhoe today. I used the job I was on yesterday. They had me use a mini-X, and just to be on the honest side is I've never said I don't like mini-X's. I've never said I'm against them. So I hope you don't hear this when I'm explaining to you what happened with the mini-X. But anyway, it's pretty funny. I got a call on a job, and the guys out there said, "How much does your backhoe weigh?" And I said, "Well, it weighs about 16 to 17,000, I think." I mean, I'm going off of some specs on that. I haven't actually weighed it with different buckets. You know, it can vary a little bit from one to another. So I don't really know the exact weight. Never really been asked that. But anyway, the reason they asked is the architect said that we could not have, I think he was allowing for 2 skid steers or skid steer size machines, which I'm assuming is about 8,000 pounds. So I think that's kind of what they were looking at, is 2 8,000 pound machines. And what it is a really weird building, but they actually put dirt on top of I've got a video from a while back called "Sometimes It's the Pits." It's where I dug some elevator pits down inside of a deep hole that was already dug out, and shoring all around it and that kind of stuff. So anyway, it's back on that job, but after they dug the footings, man, it's muddy out here. I can't even push forward straight. It's just sliding around. After they dug the footings, dug the elevators, they poured everything up. They poured a roof, or a cap, what they call a cap, on top of it, and they poured what they call pilasters. They're kind of like a pier that comes up off the roof. And then the dirt guys came in and backfilled with about 7 feet of select fill on top of that concrete cap. So what we ended up having to do is go back in on top of the concrete cap and dig with a smaller machine, because the architect didn't think that my machine plus the weight of 7 feet of dirt plus a skid steer working in the area at the same time was a good idea. So long story short, the company I worked for rented me a machine, hired me to come out and dig, and that's what we did. I'm sure a lot of you have questions on whether or not I liked it, whether I prefer digging with a mini-X as opposed to a backhoe, and I like running excavators. A mini-X is a nice machine to operate in certain. It has its limitations though. Get repositioned here. It gets muddier the further out here I go. So, but anyway, back to the story about the mini-X and whether or not I like running. I like running mini-X's. I'm not going to say I don't. And I've had people tell me that a mini-X can outperform a backhoe, and I'm here to tell you that is a lie. If you have the same size excavator as a backhoe, it might come close to outperforming it, but here's my deal. When you're digging footings, you're not always level. With a backhoe, you can get level anytime you want to get level. I mean, even on a slope, and the job I was on, I had to drive in from the side and use the blade to level up the machine. Another thing is, with a backhoe, I can set up and dig about 10 or 12 feet of footing. With the mini-X, my setup lasts about 5 to 6 feet of footing. Straight footing can be dug with the mini-X. It takes a lot more finesse, a lot more, you really got to stay on top of it. I mean, especially with the offset boom, anytime you put the boom in an offset position and you start to dig, it has a tendency to want to pivot the machine around on its pivot. So if you're not digging exactly in line with your pivot on the machine, it tends to drift to one side or the other. So I'm not trying to make excuses for my work. I feel like I did a pretty good job with the machine I was given. So I'm not trying to say that the machine is the reason I couldn't dig a nice footing. What I'm saying is I can dig it. I can dig a nice footing easier with less scoops, with less work. I mean, the bucket's smaller on a mini-X too, so you got to factor that in. Yes, a mini-X might move faster. It might spin around in circles, but I'm a backhoe man. I'm not going to change. The backhoe is how I made a living since 1999. I ran one a little bit before that. Wasn't really a full-time living, but I can't justify the cost of 2 machines to do the job of one. I can't justify having to haul 2 machines to a job to do the job of one. I know that's probably going to make some people sad, but you know, when it comes right down to it, I'm not spending any more money on fuel than the Mini-X. I mean, I looked at the fuel gauge on that Mini-X go down all day long, and I wasn't working hard. We were in soft dirt. I would almost put money on my backhoe being more efficient digging ditches than a Mini-X. So, anyway, that's the story behind why I was sitting on a Takeuchi or a Kuchi. That's why I was on it, and that's why I ended up, you know, sitting out in the cold one day. A cold Kuchi is not where you want to be. I'd rather be inside this warm backhoe. Especially in wintertime. But anyway, it was just one day. It was just, you know, not that big of a deal. Small job. But the thing is, I got people that value me as an operator. They value putting me on a piece of machinery, paying me to come out and operate stuff. You know, and they're good to me, so I try to take care of them. When they ask me to do something kind of weird like that or out of the ordinary, if I'm not too busy, I'll normally do it. So it's just one of them deals. Yeah, the hard part is going to be keeping this ditch straight from this end to that end. There ain't nothing lined out here, so this is kind of a mess. But I want to tell you, that's the first Takeuchi or Takeuchi, whatever Kuchi, that's the first one I've ever ran. And I have to admit, I think that's a pretty well-built machine. I think it's I think they come out of Japan. I've been around their skid steers a little bit. Their compact track loader, I think, is probably one of the better ones I've ever seen. I'm not real big into compact track loaders. I haven't used them that much either, but I think they got a good design. Their mini-excavator is probably one of the smoothest I've ever operated. I think a close second would be John Deere, and then maybe Bobcat third. Well, I don't know. Komatsu's got a pretty nice machine too. So they're all, I think they're all pretty good machines. I don't really have a set brand. I'm not just a die-hard New Holland fan. I think New Holland is probably built by what was it, Sumitomo or something like that. But anyway, I think they got a good machine. I think they're if I was in the market for a Mini-X and needed one, I would definitely, that would be in my list of ones I'd be looking at. So pretty good stuff. But like I say, the backhoe is where it's at for me. You know, if I look at trailer and equipment, if I look at, a lot of my jobs are an hour from home. Some of them are 2 hours, so, and a lot of my jobs last one day. If I had a Mini-X, they might last longer, but I'm gonna have to take a pay cut because the guys that expect me to produce footings, you know, I think if I come out with a smaller machine and it took twice as long to dig it, that kind of defeats the purpose of why I'm there. Because they own their own Mini-X's, and on the smaller stuff, they'll dig them themselves. They don't even call me out, and that's okay. I mean, I can't be everywhere at the same time. So, you know, it's, but it works for me. The backhoe works for me real well. I don't hate Mini-X's. I'm not a guy that, you know, I'm not set against them. I actually kind of enjoyed running it, other than it was cold outside. But if I looked at the same job, if I looked at it from the seat of my backhoe, the job would have been done quicker. The job would have been easier on me, the operator, because the bucket on my machine's bigger, so I would have taken less scoops, which means I would have made less movements. There would have been less setup. It would have been easier to level. I mean, I could go on and on about why I think the backhoe's better. And I'm sure some of you could go on and on about why they're not and why a mini-X is best. So it's just a matter of opinion. That's all it is. That's all it comes down to. I don't know that it's right and wrong, black and white. I think there's certain businesses work better with certain pieces of equipment. If you've got a smaller truck and you can't haul a big piece of equipment, a mini-X is the way to go. The problem with, you know, like I say, you get to a certain size, you start losing. I mean, a D4 and a D9 Caterpillar can move the same dirt, the same amount, but it's going to take one a little longer than the other. Same with the mini-X and a backhoe. Bigger bucket, less scoops, it's going to move more dirt. Like a bigger blade, more horsepower on a dozer, it's going to move more dirt. So that's my thoughts on it. You guys have your own opinions, I know, and that, you know, I'm not here to fight with you about it. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm not here to tell you you're wrong. But I am here to make the backhoe great again, because it, to me, is one of the best pieces of equipment to ever hit a construction site. It can do anything you need to do on a job. And I've heard a lot of people say they can do anything, but they can do nothing well. I challenge that. If you know how to operate a backhoe, you can do anything on a job as good as it needs to be done. I do it every day. It's not a big deal. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my rambling. Appreciate my subscribers. Appreciate you guys that like to comment on my videos. Have a good time with it. Anyhow, I gotta go.